Guess what happened today? My mourning geckos had babies. I did not expect this at all. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, Thrive Pet Design. Today I'm going to be talking a little bit about mourning geckos and especially their eggs and how you take care of those when they've been laid, just because sometimes it's not always mentioned in the mourning gecko care guides, and it's very interesting to learn a little bit more about these species. Mourning geckos are a really cool species. They are completely asexual and not in like the orientation sort of way. It's basically in the way where their body can reproduce clones of themselves through their own genetics, and they're able to produce eggs without having a male in the environment because they're all female. If you're wondering at what age your mourning gecko was going to lay eggs, mine was about 10 months old when she laid her first eggs, but it's typically around 8 to 10 from some sources that I've seen online. Something really cool about geckos is how they lay eggs in clutches of 2. They won't do more than 2, especially with how small the little mourning geckos are. But they may have 1, or they might have 1 bad egg or something. It really depends on the gecko. Additionally, they will lay the eggs about every 2 months. It could be less or more time depending on how healthy the gecko is, how quickly the eggs develop. It really varies for each gecko, and it's not like perfectly set to a clock. Something really cool about mourning gecko eggs is the way that when they lay their eggs, they have this sticky substance on them, so that way they can be pressed against something and they stick to it. So for example, like how in the video you can see that the mourning gecko eggs are like on the side of the tank, like they're completely glued there, and that's actually on the lid of my tank, so I've had to take off the lid several times and they just don't move. And that's something really interesting in how they're able to stay in the same spot, and it's really important because if you shift the eggs too much, the babies could drown in the yolk of the egg, and that would be obviously really bad. So the fact that they glue that way means that they're able to maintain like an air pocket so the baby can form and develop healthily. So yeah, often you will find those eggs anywhere in the tank. They can be on any sort of hides in the ground. I haven't noticed them on the ground yet, but my mourning gecko hangs out along the ridge of my tank, so I think that's why she put them up there, because that's where she started giving birth. But it really depends on what you have in your environment and what the gecko feels safe using. Additionally, as I mentioned earlier, I talked a little bit about how the mourning geckos put the sticky substance on their eggs. Please do not try to remove the eggs. First off, if you don't know which way the eggs were originally pointing, you could just kill the babies that way. But also, the eggs are fragile, and especially when they're like, it's not worth the risk to remove the eggs. If you're concerned about like you want to see the babies before they hatch, you could tape a little cup around wherever they are. Or if you have them on like a hide, you could probably remove the hide and put it in a separate container, but be so careful. Like, I honestly don't even know if it's worth it, but just be so careful. So kind of like with snake eggs, some snake eggs takes about 60 days to hatch. Mourning geckos will take about 2 months as well, but they can take upwards to 6 months. Really depends on the temperature, because temperature affects metabolic activity rates. If you have a higher metabolic activity rate, you are in cold-blooded species, you are going to be living fast, moving faster, everything goes through your body a bit faster, so you develop faster too. Additionally, please be sure that you keep the humidity at the normal levels of 60 to 80%. Please don't let it get too high or too low, just in order to make sure the eggs are safe. If you notice the eggs molding, that means it might have too much humidity, and you'd have to do your own research into that. If you notice the eggs maybe look a little deflated, or if you notice your humidity is lower, try misting, see what you can do some more research on your own as well. Eventually, the eggs are going to hatch, and then you will have your own little babies. I'm not going to cover much about what you should do to take care of the babies after they've hatched, because I'm going to produce a video when mine hatched to talk about that. So thank you all so much for watching this portion of the video, and the rest of this video is going to be spent discussing where I've been, in case anyone hasn't noticed that I haven't posted in a few months. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you continue into the rest of the video. Thank you. If anyone's wondering why I've been so absent, I thought I would take a moment to say what my day is like every single day. I wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning to get ready for school. I leave by 7 o'clock and I am at school all the way until 2:35. And sometimes during school I can get a little bit of writing done, but that's very brief. And then when I get home, I try to publish poems on my blog 2 times a week, but sometimes less or more depending on motivation. So that's also something that takes about an hour to write a poem, but also I need to think about it beforehand and brainstorm ideas also. I just wanted to quickly add that I mentioned the blog here, but I didn't actually formally mention it, so I'm going to do a little bit of a quick plug. So my blog is hazeljhall.com. It is a poetry, that's my pen name also, so don't worry, I'm not being doxxed by myself. It is a blog where I write poetry. I also hope to write opinion pieces and articles, and it's really a lot of fun for me. Basically what you do if you want to type in the name into your search engine and just support any of my writing, please consider following the blog, doing whatever you want. I'm trying to work through and produce some more music, so I did make a SoundCloud, and I'll leave a link to that in the description as well as a link with the blog below. And yeah, I've been sharing a lot of my photography, writing, and music. I'm always working on getting better, so if anyone would be interested in just looking into that and supporting me, would mean the world to me because I am so excited to see where I go in the future. And then I have homework. Thankfully, I'm not taking any super hard classes this year, but there are still many difficult classes that I'm taking, and I try to prioritize my learning over everything else. And I've also been struggling a lot to balance out my interest in music and marching band, in my writing, and also with animals, because I also have to take care of the animals. Video editing is definitely exciting and I enjoy the editing, but I have a really hard time getting myself to do the subtitles because I really want my content to be accessible for everyone. And the subtitling software that I use it's pretty easy, but the thing is that I have to export all the videos in 2-minute chunks because I can't pay for the full version right now. And that's very difficult for me because my videos tend to be a bit longer. So I'm trying to work out a new subtitling system because I want the videos to be accessible, and that's a really big struggle because subtitling will oftentimes take me upwards of 3 or 4 hours, so that's really difficult. And when I'm done editing videos, usually the editing process takes about an hour or 2, the subtitling will take double that. And then what I will do is I have to upload the videos and everything, thumbnail, all that stuff. And then on top of that, I'm already dealing with my own school commitments, with everything else that I need to do, again, my homework, and then I also need my own free time. This is what relaxing looks like on a typical Wednesday night as I struggle to try to do some sort of drawing prompt so I can actually become better at drawing. Very interesting. Good soundtrack though, for sure. So I've been really struggling to balance all of that out recently, and it's just been a very stressful time, I feel like, for everyone, and I've been just trying to relax during that time, so I haven't been responding to any comments. I'm very sorry about that. I've been focusing on the blog just because it's been very low-key and very enjoyable for me recently, so I hope that explains some of why I've been having a really hard time staying present. I've been dealing with a lot of very fatigue issues. I have to go to bed by about 8:30 or else I can hardly get through the day, and it's very difficult for me to be doing all of these things at once. I am a very creative person and I try to be doing as much as I can, but doing music and then my own writing career, and I also love writing books too. I'm currently in the middle of editing one. That's very difficult. And then I also uploading videos and taking care of the animals on top of all that stuff is just very difficult. So what I'm going to try to do instead of doing a solid upload schedule is I'm just going to post videos when I feel motivated to, hopefully once every other week. And I hope that they're enjoyable enough that people will stick around and support me in the future. I've been very anxious about posting a video ever since my Green Sheet Conyers pros and cons went, I wouldn't say viral, but it definitely got quite a few views, more than I was expecting when I published that video of me pacing around my bedroom recording a video. So I've just been kind of taking a break, and I hope that people understand that I'll be coming back and doing it at my own pace. Kind of forgot how much has changed since I last recorded something, because honestly, I don't think the tank looked like this last time. This is a very recent change where I took out the paludarium and I'm just letting it grow like a little jungle in here. Honestly, I think that's something I've discovered recently is I've just been having fun letting things kind of grow out, and I think this is going to be my new kind of mindset in pet keeping, just letting things grow and thrive. Because honestly, my fish all look super healthy, and I'm hoping there might even be a time soon where I feel comfortable getting more fish or maybe selling some of these endlers to try something new. I don't know if I have enough sand down here, but I'd love to try some form of cory. Oh, look at the fishies. And I'd also love to try... Oh, look at that little shrimplet. Can you see him? No, I can't even get him in focus. It's fine. But I'd love to try some form of tetra or rasbora. I'm just excited to try new stuff in here. I'm excited to try new stuff everywhere to hopefully reinvigorate? I don't know how to say it. My interest just in pet keeping. Because I think we've all been very burnt out recently. I think that's a universal thing. I don't think it's just a me thing. So, let's see where it leads us. And I really hope that you stay tuned for that, because it would mean the world for me to get any form of support from anyone, because I really enjoy doing this. I enjoy looking after my animals, and I'm finally interested again in doing animal care. Thank you so much for understanding, for being patient, for staying subscribed, for just your kindness as I navigate my own life. Thank you so much. You have a fantastic day. I'll see you all next time.